The Regents podcast. The Regents podcast. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It's giving Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello, dearies.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Classic. I love it.
Absolutely.
Well, hello, everyone. Yeah. Welcome to the Regents podcast.
Yeah. Welcome. We are two best friends
who quit their jobs
to pursue our passions.
Follow along with the podcast.
Yes, indeed.
I'm Ellen.
And I'm Aja. Y'all should know that.
Yeah.
But if you're new here,
that is such a great win for you. And we are going to be talking about wins today.
100%.
Yes. Queen of the transition. Ladies and gents.
Oh my God.
I just didn't even realize I was doing it.
That's because it's fresh on your brain.
It is. It's so fresh.
If you know, you know.
Yes. Right? Ladies and gents. Okay. Well, on that note, that's how podcasts wind up having like weird insider merch and inside jokes and stuff. Because everyone's going to be like, ladies and gents. Imagine we're on tour.
Excited. I'm so excited for that. When we can have sweatshirts that have like the ladies and gents. And if you know. Oh my God.
When we go on tour and the podcast is live and the whole room is like waiting for us to go on stage. And then like the announcer's just like, ladies and gents. And everyone starts laughing like, Aja and Ellen will be with you in a moment. But we just want to remind you, like, turn off your cell phones. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. That is
I'll be like, I'm Ellen. I'm Aja. And then it'll be like, ladies and gents. Because I love those pre-recorded like announcements for live events where it's like actually the real people you're coming to see.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone's in on it and it's not just like some voice of God type thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Guys, get excited because we're ready. We like want to have everything be like super fine tuned. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Because we're so detail oriented and intentional as you know. So it's going to be a whole vibe and experience curated.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yes.
For the Regents people.
And speaking of curated, for the Regents residents. Well, speaking of curated, so this week we really want to talk about, and like we said, it's a win if you're here and it's a win that we show up every day. And that's a really good mindset shift of kind of looking at things to be grateful for and looking for wins, because this week we're talking about gratitude and growth and talking about like success in general and how a lot of it is mindset and perspective and also allowing yourself to feel the big and the small wins. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about gratitude shifts for our energy. We're going to talk about sharing practical ways to stay grounded and optimistic while doing the work. Okay. If this is the time for you to call in some success, some wins, are you trying to level up? This is the episode for you.
That's right. When you said call in, I was like, I wish this was a radio show. Call us now. Tell us your wins this week. That would be so amazing.
Oh my God. You know, there are some podcasts that do have like a phone number you can call.
Yeah.
And then they like play those phone calls on the podcast.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
Like, hey, I have a thought on this, or I'd love to get your take on X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's so cool.
Like we need some like resident assistance, and it's like a call-in line.
We need some assistance on these residents.
I'm going a little too far in. It's a little too. It's
deep, but it's all right. I mean,
it's very on the nose.
Very much.
Okay. So, the first thing I want to talk about is if we are going to tell people, okay, it's good to celebrate wins and milestones and new opportunities. And like, when did you just not give up? You know? And I think it's okay for it to be something that's like small and recent, or it can be like a really big win. I know that we spoke a couple episodes about like opening for Boys to Men is like a massive, massive win. And it is one that I think people can like align with. So yes, we want to celebrate that win, but then there's probably been a lot of other wins along the way that you would also want to highlight and maybe celebrate. And maybe it's something unexpected, or maybe it wasn't even, you know, a win in the first place. Mm-hmm. So I would love to hear from you.
Okay.
Like what's a win? What's a win that you like almost forgot to celebrate?
A win that I might have forgotten to celebrate.
Or maybe it was just a small win that wasn't one that like, you know, everyone got a text message about, but more so just like, oh my God, dang, this happened.
Right. You know, I feel like, oof. I'm trying to think. Do
you want me to go first?
I mean, if you have something top of mind, absolutely.
Well, I'm just saying, like, because like last week I did have like 2 deals come through, which as everyone knows, hustle. I've been on the grind.
Absolutely.
And so to just have like wins like that come through after the result of like working. And I love that it's not just something that falls into the lap. It's, I have been working hard to see these things come to fruition. So, absolutely. And I'm like super grateful, and like maybe like also celebrating a win is a little bit different when you don't have like the disposable income to like take yourself out for X, Y, or Z. Mm-hmm. But I did just remember that I have a like a gift certificate to like get a facial from my mom from my birthday. So that's amazing. Because that happened last week. I got those 2 deals that came through, and then I've had like just like some crazy, you know, hurdles in the last couple days. Also, trying to get me off my path, but I'm not going to allow it. So I booked the facial.
Oh yes. Yeah. I love it.
I said, you know what? That's a good thing. It's a good way to celebrate. It's a good way to mark a good win, and to kind of be like all the mishigas of things that did happen that tried to make me forget my win. I don't think so. Okay. Don't take me off my path.
That's right. I love that. That's definitely a win. We were celebrating about that before we started recording. So
yeah. So that's my win, and I'm sticking to it.
I'm not forgetting it. Okay.
I'm not going to forget it.
Thank you for being a catalyst. So a recent win for me, I took a trip to Florida just a little over a week ago, and I visited my cousin. So it was a win all around because I got to see my family, him, his wife, his son. We had a great time together. I spent almost the full week. I was there from Sunday to Thursday. But my cousin, shout out to K Ruggs, he is also into music, and I had such a productive week because couple months back, we talked on the phone, and we were just kind of vibing out on music. And he's been self-recording himself that's kind of redundant. He's been self-recording for quite a while, like for years.
Okay.
And so when we were talking, and I was just like, yeah, man, like I really want to like learn all the things about the DAW and da 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 da. He was like, I'll teach you everything. And so I was like,
wait, tell everybody what a DAW is, because not everybody knows.
That's true. Okay, so a DAW is an acronym. It stands for Digital Audio Workstation, and it is the program that you use when you're recording music. So industry standard is Pro Tools. After that, it's Logic Pro, exclusive to Mac. I'm not a Mac user except for my iPad. So I was happy to know that Pro Tools is like the industry standard, and that's what my cousin K Ruggs is proficient in. So he taught me all the things. We spent that week just kind of recording music, teaching me like the ins and outs of Pro Tools, like figuring out all the things, because Pro Tools is really like an engineer's playground. Like that's what they do. People are trained in, using this program, but there's such benefit obviously today. We know so many people are independent and also recording themselves at home at their home studios. And I have so many ideas, and it's just like I don't want to be always at the mercy of someone else's time or some studio's time and availability and their rates, etc. Spending all this money just to get my ideas out. I want to be able to have the idea and be able to get it out myself. And
Yeah.
thankfully, my cousin's really great at it. I was like, I was like, Cass, I am indebted to you. Like, you have
Mm,
really taught me. So that was a huge win. Not only did we record 4 songs while I was down there, and
okay.
we he taught me Pro Tools, but also obviously there's still a lot more for me to learn in Pro Tools, but I can open a session and record myself, figure out the plugins, find my presets, blah blah blah. That's a win. But also, he is an IT professional. Like that's what he does. And
Yeah.
he upgraded my computer. Like,
There we
I
go.
had an 8 gig RAM laptop, ladies and gents, okay? Ask me what I have now. I have a 36 gig RAM computer. I mean, like,
Ooh.
my station right now is like a freaking well-oiled machine because he literally took my
There you
computer
go.
apart and put in a new RAM stick. That blew my mind because I first of all, I was so scared because I'm like, this is my job, this laptop.
Yes.
But, so it was just kinda threefold. I got to spend time with my family, and their dog, Nas, my favorite rapper.
Aw.
And we recorded music. I got to learn stuff about how I can get my ideas out. That was a huge win, and I was so excited about it. I was definitely telling everyone about it. Don't know that I necessarily, like, celebrated it per se, but it was just such a big thing for me, like a big kinda check off the list, and I felt like
Yeah.
that gave I feel like now, like, I'm ready, like, "Oh, man, I can get my ideas
Mm.
out now," like, whew, just wait on it, so that's a really big
And
win.
that is like, it's a win. And it's also just that feeling of just like the gratitude
Mhm.
to your cousin, to being
Yes.
able to do something on your own. It's like, that feeling of like self
Yes.
empowerment, to not have to rely. I think like I always oscillate with the idea of like relying on people. I think like it's important to be independent and be able to take care of yourself and do everything. And I think that it's also
Mhm.
important to be able to ask for help and depend
Yeah.
or rely on other people, and finding that kind of like healthy medium
Mhm.
of being able to ask for help, or being open enough that someone can lend you help
Yeah.
is an important thing. But I also, a big part of that walks hand in hand with like being grateful for it, because no one's going to offer you help again if you're not grateful.
Hello? Listen, you know what? She didn't even say thank you, like, forget that
Yeah,
girl.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, come on. It's
Oh,
so funny
man.
the amount of times you can see like memes or something about someone be like, and she didn't even say thank you. And it's like,
No manners. Listen, these are the
yes.
things that we learn when we're children, and they still matter, okay? Please and
Mm-hmm.
thank yous. They count. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think it's really interesting, the idea of gratitude, because we have these things that happen, wins,
Mhm.
also sometimes
Yeah.
struggles, that then we can see how they've played out over the long term to be, inevitably a good thing or a win, or it, prevented, like, oh, listen to this. I just saw a TikTok comment section that was like, tell me something about your family that nobody knows. It was so silly.
Mhm.
And basically this girl was like, my grandmother or my great grandmother was supposed to get on the Titanic. She was in line. She threw up,
Oh,
and they said, no, you're sick. You can't get on the boat.
look at how her life was
Turns
spared.
out she was having morning sickness
Oh,
because she was pregnant.
wow.
And this girl commented, she's like, my entire bloodline would have not happened if
Oh,
she got on that boat. And I was like,
right, right. That's
and in the
wild.
moment, it was like, okay, well, this transcontinental trip that this person had been planning and probably
A
spent a lot
lot
of
of
money on,
money,
it was probably really upset about
for
it.
sure.
Yeah. And then boom,
Wow. she
you
wins.
know,
She won that TikTok
yeah, that was
comment.
a win. So it's like, I know, truly, you should have seen some of the stuff people were commenting. I was like, oh my God.
Please don't tell
But
us.
it's like, no, really. But it was like one of those things where, if you actually take the time for that, like, processing of it and the reflection of it. And it sounds like it was like a story in this family.
Yeah.
And like, what a great lesson to learn of, like, an immediate no or an immediate upset can wind up being the
Your
greatest
greatest
thing to happen to
blessing.
you.
Right, right.
And I think that there is this idea of like trying to find gratefulness in the chaos of entrepreneurship, which can sometimes be a difficult thing to find, when things aren't working out or when things are working out and then things difficult negative things happen right after the good things happen
And try
and
to knock you off course.
they try to take your shine. Okay.
Oh, you speak as though you have experience.
I feel this so viscerally this week. Oh my God.
Oh,
Guys,
man. It's too fresh.
let me just say the devil was trying to take me down. And what did I say, Aja? I said, I rebuke you.
Rebuke. Okay? She literally said, I rebuke.
I said, Control Alt Delete on this energy. I don't want any of it.
No.
Get out of my way.
Okay, but God.
So that's why we're talking about the wins today,
yes, and
because
gratitude.
we're not going to let these moments of things that were like difficult and emotionally taxing and cortisol spiking and anxiety and adrenaline pumping. Yes. We're not going to let those things diminish or make me forget my gratitude for the wins I have experienced in the last week. Yes. And I think that like having a plan for gratitude makes it so you don't forget to find that quiet and that calm in the entrepreneurial chaos to be grateful. So personally for me, a practice I have is that I do keep a journal that is a gratitude journal, and it has morning prompts and evening prompts. And it has like little, nice quotes to start the day. It has, what is, an affirmation for yourself for the day? What would be 3 good things to, have happen for the day? What are you, grateful for today? What are 3 things you're grateful for? And then at the end of the day, it's like, what are you glad that you got to accomplish today? Or like, what are you glad happened in today's, what have you? And then, write what did you learn today? Okay. So it's one of those, like, it's just a very short, simple page. I mean, truly very, very short, very small. It's a single page of a very small book, because that's as much as I can take on in terms of daily journaling right now. Because everyone knows I don't like to write journal. Don't love it. But every day that I write in it feels like a small win as well, because I feel like I'm committing to this thing for myself. Yeah. But it also really does help me to like not miss out on something to be grateful for. So whether that's like a family member's health, whether that's, just having, good deals come through. Like last week, I'm very excited to have contracts and things come through that I've been working on, so I like take the time to write them down, write down that I want them to happen, write down when they do happen. So there is this like behavior of taking time to be grateful that I have kind of established, which does create a moment for me to be able to appreciate the things around me. And I mean, I do gratitude. It's like big wins, little wins, but it's also like, I'm so grateful that I like coffee because it makes waking up in the morning or easier.
Oh, that's nice.
It's like I sometimes will find like if it's hard for me to get to it, it's like it becomes that muscle where it's like, okay. And I start looking around the room sometimes if I can't just like find the thing, if it's not just on the tip of my tongue, then I like look around and I'm like, oh, I'm grateful. Oh, I'm grateful that I don't want to say her name. She's going to wake up. Of course. I'm grateful she has one brown eye and one blue eye because it makes her unique and it's fun to look at. Like, just random things. If you can't really grasp onto like a real deep over meaning of life type thing, and it makes it easier every day because you find yourself not struggling to reach for gratitude. Right. So that's kind of my gratitude practice. And as much, and I do, try to be like, oh, I'm so grateful this thing worked out. Or like, I get through a light in time and I'm like, oh, thank you. Like I do try to stay I'm grateful for big and for small.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
I'm curious for you. Do you find yourself thinking about, how do I practice gratefulness? Is there a way that you reflect on that? Do you have like a way to get yourself to think about being grateful?
So much in what you said.
I love you
Smart.
always say that after I talk for 5 minutes.
Right.
You're like, there's a lot that you said
Yeah.
there. I'm like, I need to learn to stop talking so that she doesn't have to always
I
say
gotta
that.
do double dutch. Let me get no, because
That's what it is. I need to, Ellen, it's just two
well,
people. Get over
what
it.
it also reminds me of, it reminds me of this, it's not a meme, but it was like this thing on social where it was like women listening to voice notes from their friends. She left a 3-minute voice note and it's like me writing down all the things that I want to talk about. It's like, okay, yeah. So first off, let me tell you.
Oh my God. You know what it is when you're in a group chat or you're talking with someone and they're replying to the message and it's
Mm,
like you've sent like 4 or 5 messages and then they reply their thought to each one. So it's replying.
replying
And I'm
to
like, this is starting to look like an email
no,
thread. Like
seriously.
it's getting difficult to follow.
But if you have, and I know iPhone does this, but like WhatsApp, right? Whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
also Google Messages now. But like when you can reply to a specific message, I am
No,
so grateful
exactly.
for that feature though.
Yeah.
Look at me. Because
Grateful.
grateful. Because otherwise I'll be like, wait, what are you talking about? Is that for this or for that?
Yeah.
Whatever.
No.
But seriously, thank God for technology. The you first started off by saying like, you weren't allowing the chaos of life to derail you. And I think it's so important. Like, I've really come to embrace and know that multiple things can be true. Like, I could have a really
Mm.
high whatever going on, but there could also be something like crazy going on, you
Yep.
know? And it's like finding that balance. But I think those types of life occurrences, when we experience like both and, it
Yeah.
helps us, I think, bask deeper in the gratitude, at least I've found, because it's just like, well, it's because of the craziness that I can really be
Mm.
grateful that X or whatever, or I can think about a struggle and I'm so grateful for the win because of the
Yeah.
struggle. It's the same basic, you know, uh cliche is like, oh well, if it weren't for
Mm-hmm.
the rain, we wouldn't appreciate the sun. Like,
Oh,
but seriously, it's
but
the
it's true.
kindergartner
Yeah.
way of saying the exact same thing. So I think it's interesting, and it shows like this crazy level of emotional maturity that you could let those things happen, but almost like
Yeah.
let that kind of just it's over. Everything is fine. And that's like
Yeah.
my favorite phrase. Everything is fine. Whatever. Because, it is. Everything is going to be all right. But other than that, I feel like I'm journaling. I wouldn't say that I do it every single day. I
Yeah.
would love to get to that point, and I'm working on it. But I am doing much better, and that helps me to kind of like have my gratitude in practice. But I think I would like to say, and I would love to ask the people closest to me, like my husband, you, and some of my other friends. Like, I feel like I'm so grateful or thank God or whatever is like a part of my normal speech. I literally
Yeah.
just sent a message to my trainer today because I was just like, I was logging my weight in the app, and I was looking like through because I have to weigh daily as part of the program, whatever. And I looked through all of the past, I don't know, 10 weeks or whatever that I've been doing it. And I was just like, man, I remember when I was looking at these numbers, like I've progressed since then. But I remember when those
Yeah.
numbers was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like I was so excited. And so from there, I was like, let me tell this girl how grateful I am for her. So I
Oh.
sent her, because there's a chat feature in the app, and I was like, girl, I just want you to know, like, you are changing lives. I was like, I'm so grateful for you and so glad that I found you because, like, all of the things that you don't know how much of a weight it's like lifted, pun intended, how much of a
There
weight
you
it's
go.
lifted off of my shoulders to not have to like guess and do all the guesswork because fitness has
Yeah.
been such a integral part of my life for the past, I don't know, 2 decades probably, or a decade at
Yeah.
least. And it's so helpful to know that there's somebody that can like bounce those ideas off of who actually knows what she's
Yeah.
talking about. So I try to make that like a daily thing. I want people to know. I just sent a message to a client. I sent her a card in the mail because it was her birthday. She's hired me for
Aw.
the past 3 years, ever since I've been doing this, whatever, for her birthday. She's
Yeah.
like, "Girl, I can't have a birthday without you. Like, you're my favorite singer." And I sent her
Aw.
a birthday card because I'm just like, I'm so grateful for you. Like, you value my
Yeah.
voice, and that helps to reaffirm. So I say all that to say, I try to make it such, and this is something that I learned from a woman who I truly admire, some years back. But she was just like, let that be, like she said, we swim in gratitude. Like, that's all we
Mm.
do is just swim in gratitude. And I totally like adopted that. I was like, yeah, because if I'm not sensitive to the things that are happening around me on a daily basis, the fact that I can breathe, the fact that I'm healthy, the fact that I have a husband who loves me, that I love, and all these different things, then I will let life get the best of me. I will let
Yeah.
all these things come and happen at the drop of a dime and let it all win. And it can't, you know? So,
No. No.
yeah, I feel like that's my practice, just kind of letting it become such a part of my daily language or whatever, and the things, my little actions that I take to let people know,
Yeah.
um, that I'm grateful for them or what it is I'm grateful for. So,
I love that. The idea of like taking an action to like put the gratitude out into the world, cuz I I always say, like, when I'm streaming and like people comment nice things, kind things, I'm like, it's free to be kind.
so free.
Isn't that
It
incredible?
is.
That it's free to be kind, that you can just be kind to another person and it's completely
Right.
free and no one's expecting anything. And I
But so
love
much
the idea
reward
that,
in it.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's as much for them as it is for you,
Yes.
because to express that gratitude, to be in a place of gratefulness and to tell another person,
Mhm.
like, they're probably receiving that and hopefully in a place where they can hear it and are able to kind of internalize that. But also, like, it makes you feel good that you're sharing that gratitude with another
Yeah,
person,
exactly. Right.
and I think that that's a really big thing, especially with solopreneuring, right?
Mhm.
Like, we are, I don't like to say alone, but we are solo. We
So
are,
low. We're alone, but not
independent.
lonely.
Oh, that's my favorite. I'm alone, but I'm not lonely.
Yes.
We, we can kind of, maybe don't feel like there's people in the office to celebrate the win with, type
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
or be like, oh my gosh, guys, I just got this email. Like, you look around and there's nobody
No?
here.
Alright.
Okay. All right then. Okay. Cool. 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 Like, in that cool. 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 In that moment,
Yeah.
there's nobody to share that with, and I
Mhm.
think, you know that can be a little bit like, meh,
Yeah.
meh, like,
Wah
now let me just open my phone and
and
call,
text
or let
her.
me text,
Yes.
and I do think that that's why people in an office setting, there is a bit of like a deeper friendships and deeper connections. That's why, you hear a lot of people are trauma bonded with their colleagues,
Yeah,
and, or
absolutely.
they're
We
like the
went through
highs
the
and the lows
fire
are really.
together.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, there is a little bit of that is missing from the solopreneur. So that's why I
Mhm.
think, one, it's grateful. It's amazing that we have each other where
Yes.
we can celebrate each other's wins and like connect on that
Every
stuff,
week. Right.
every week, seriously. But then there's also, I think, creating that like intentionality to the celebration because there's not other people around.
Yeah.
So whether that's you telling someone that you're grateful for them, or grateful for something they contributed to for you,
Mhm.
or just yourself, internally, like taking the moment to take an action, whether it's like, I'm grateful this thing happened for me, or I'm grateful that I've like gone through all of this so that I can notice what this is for what it is and make a different choice. I think that's a big practice of like, I'm glad that this thing that happened wasn't great, but it actually taught me a lesson
Yeah.
and I can move forward. So I do think that it's, you know, being a solopreneur can be difficult sometimes to find moments to celebrate because you are by yourself.
Yeah.
And then there is that idea that like gratitude as a practice can look very different for a lot of people, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's writing it down, it's expressing it. I think I would love to hear from the audience, like if
Mhm.
anyone wanted to comment, like what they're grateful for, or, and this isn't like Thanksgiving, what you're grateful for, but like maybe it's something that we wouldn't expect,
Yeah.
that they were grateful that happened, or maybe how they make gratitude or expressing gratitude or just feeling their own gratitude like more of a practice, like an action. I'm curious
Okay.
for our audience to comment. So now this is their part of the work. Okay. You guys have to comment.
You have to participate.
You have an assignment. You have an assignment.
Don't miss the assignment, okay? Understand the
You're
assignment.
like my dog ate my homework. I like the idea of sending a card though. I feel like getting things in the mail and a card, it is so
It's a lost
like
art.
it is.
Oh
it
my
really
gosh,
is.
but it is so
you know?
amazing. Ugh.
Like just a little note card. Like I've always said that once I am tremendously wealthy, I will hire an assistant and that person's job will be to make sure that I send cards.
Okay. Wow.
Because
only once she is tremendously wealthy.
Yeah. So if you haven't gotten a card yet, it's because I haven't made it yet, but it's fine.
But it's on the way. It's coming.
It's on the way. You're going to get 5 years of back cards. It's just like one of those things where it's like people really, I know I do. If I get a card in the mail, I'm like,
oh, please.
Do you know how much effort that takes to send a card?
No, seriously. And let me just say, like, even when, like Christmas cards, right? Even a Christmas card. I love the ones where it's just like, oh, a picture and it's all printed, it's digital. Like, okay, that's fine. But when somebody writes a Christmas card, like, the message is already written in the card or whatever, but then they write like just a little 1-2 sentence. I'm like, oh, this is a handwritten card. And I'm that person. 100%. I'm that person when it comes time. I'm also like slightly tight at Hallmark because these cards are expensive.
No, they're so expensive. It's ridiculous. It's gotten out of control.
I'm spending $10 on a card. No. And that would be fine if everybody was like me because I keep cards. Like I really.
You had No, I know. I have a lot of cards. I have so many cards. And the fact that I've moved cross country with cards is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That says so much about your heart. I love it. She brought them things all the way.
No, if people write something in the card, it's been saved.
That's how I am. If you wrote something to me, I'll keep it forever. And I'm that person. Like I'll write, like an actual like little letter every year. My parents.
When you open a card, and you see that the left side of the card is completely filled in with narrative and story and text.
How beautiful.
I'm elated.
Yes.
I'm like, I can't wait to read this.
What is she going to say? Like,
I know. And it's usually just like a friend expressing their own gratefulness for you in their life and happy whatever we're celebrating. Yeah. But it's just, I love it. And it's, it's funny. My sister hates writing cards. She doesn't write, like, she'll be like, to, from, love. And then she told me once, she's like, I feel anxiety when I give you a card because I can't do what you do with cards. I was like, never feel anxiety with, just know I'll just be always a little disappointed when I open a card from you.
It's not that you break my heart just a little bit every time.
Just a little, my heart. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. By the time we're older, I'll have died from all these cards.
I'm already dead inside.
No, because people show up how they can show up. I can't begrudge someone that they're not a card writer. It's just I enjoy
That's your love
when
language.
There is something nice in a card. Yeah.
I can totally agree.
So
that's
so funny. Well, there you go. How about like I love the idea of a thank you card, but like I don't also, but like maybe people should send out gratitude cards. Instead of thank you cards, say like gratitude because it's like, oh, a thank you card because it's like, because I feel like when you're younger, they're like, you have to write your thank yous. Like, did you have a birthday? You've got to write a thank you card for everything that and it's like, oh,
well, it's a chore at that time.
Yeah. And I also haven't had a wedding or a bridal shower or a baby or a baby shower. I haven't had to write like
a thank you and
an insane amount of thank yous in my adult life, thankfully.
Right.
But that means I'm not in the practice of sending thank yous out. So maybe it would be good for me to kind of be like, maybe it's time for me to kind of, in this next chapter of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, send out a little gratitude card. Just be like, hey, I'm just like really grateful to have you in my life, or, you really helped me with this and I really appreciate that. And I just wanted to
It
let you
does not
know
go
in a
unnoticed.
more formal way
Yeah. Something that you can cherish forever. So
that I financially invested in
cherish.
with both the card and the
And the stamp.
postage.
And my
I
time.
actually physically, I had to go to the post office. I didn't even have a stamp.
Okay. Listen, all these
Dude,
things.
that's literally what happened when I brought Valentine's Day cards and gifts and stuff to the post office,
Yeah.
back in February for like little cousins, nephew, etc.
Oh.
And I'm there and I'm like, I put stickers in because, like, give them some stickers, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
little card, cute.
That's so cute.
And then I was like, wait, is this gonna weigh too much? Like, should I weigh it? Like, it's just like one
You
of those
have
like
to.
classic millennial. But it's also like felt like so classic millennial where we like don't know how to do normal things that like the generation before us knows how to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when I was younger and I was learning how to like write a check out of a checkbook, which I still don't do often, very, very infrequently.
Oh man, yeah.
And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like these are like little things that we should know how. Like
Did you not?
Wait,
did they not teach you this in school? Because I can say we had like a lesson about check writing.
I'm sure we did when we were younger, but that's different than like my mom was like trying to teach me how to balance a checkbook, but it was also at the time where like you could go online and check that stuff.
Exactly.
So I was like, this is something I don't need to know. Exactly. It's like it was in that time. So like writing letters, like how to address a letter, where to put the return address, like where to put the stamp, all that I know.
Yeah.
It's just going into like, we've spoken about this. I don't like going into places where the people are there every day and they don't want to deal with our newbie bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that part.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. They're just like, oh, like, what do you mean you don't know how to weigh? Or like, that's just not his mail. And like, I'm like, thankfully they're very nice at this post office here.
Okay.
But, I do get anxiety when I go in there, and then I definitely overpaid for postage.
Well, just to be certain, because what we don't want is
I have to be careful.
Sender. Like,
return to send. I might as well not have done anything.
Like, now you've wasted time. Now it's 2 weeks, and
but I'm grateful. Guys, this is what we're talking about. You've got to kind of like catch yourself and be like, but you know what? I know that I put the effort in and the intention, even if it didn't make it, it's back. Or maybe it did make it. Thank God. Thank God it made it. Yes. So on that little silly, funny note, guys, we've started integrating games because we like to play a little fun game.
Because we're silly.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to do, because this is one of the best, we're going to do a would you rather for success. Okay.
Success edition.
Funny and real scenarios, okay? And you're going to basically pick, would you rather these types of successes, things to be grateful for in our lives. Okay. So we're going to celebrate the wins.
All right.
And we're going to pick a couple. Do you want to go like you pick one, I pick one, or do you want me to do this one and then you do the other game? Or should I just do a handful and we both just decide what we would do?
Yeah, we'll both talk about it.
Okay, let's just do that. That's easier.
Okay.
All right. So the first one. Oh, well, this actually speaks super to being a solopreneur. Okay. Would you rather hit a huge milestone with no one around to celebrate or have a mid-sized win go completely viral online?
Oh, a huge milestone with no one to celebrate. I don't think I want. Okay, I'm taking all of this exactly as you give it to me. So it says if there's no one to celebrate it with, I don't want it. I don't think I want it. A mid-size, at least I feel like there's some type, but the fact that it's like online, I mean, both of these feel kind of whack to me. I'm sorry. What would you say?
I think it has to be through the lens of like, okay, here we go. Say a huge milestone, but there's no one there. So say you get put on a Spotify new music playlist.
Okay.
Aja Moye music, Spotify new music playlist. Just so happens you find out about it. No one's home.
Okay. I mean, that's fine.
Or would you rather have like just, a little riff of something, little something that you kind of did, a little throwaway
Mm-hmm.
hit on TikTok?
Well, in the long run, the playlist, I feel like, well, they're both
Yeah, so
online.
there you go. That's something that feeds you in a different way, because some other people would be like, no, I need the online like validation. I want that. But it's like,
Right.
because like, there's no guarantee from being on a playlist, but then from like a business perspective, it is a great thing for you.
Yeah. But then also, you got something viral. It's like, oh, people checking out this little girl. But if it's a throwaway,
This little girl.
you see how
No,
I
let's
see
hope
myself,
not.
right?
Let's hope not this little girl. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I guess something when we say no one to celebrate, I'm going to take it exactly how you said it. There was no one home at the moment.
There was no one home. Oh God, yeah. No, I'm not meaning like you're devoid of
Well, that's what
relationships
I'm
and by
thinking. I'm
yourself
just
in
like,
life.
okay, would you rather just
Oh,
be like super successful and there's no one?
oof.
Or, like,
Oh
oh,
my God,
she
that's
went viral, but
stressful.
she has all these people online, but she doesn't really have anybody in her corner in real life. That's how I read
Mm.
it.
That's sad. No,
That's
you don't want to.
sad.
No, I'm a big like you want to win with other people. Like you want to like everybody wins. Rising tides raises all ships. Like you definitely don't want to be. What do they say? It's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
No, everyone's going to be there with me.
Hello.
That's why I'm like I need to like make it because I'm trying to
I'm
have like I
bringing the
used to tell my
squad.
parents. I used to tell my parents I'd be like, okay, dad will be the head of
Oh,
security.
absolutely.
Okay, my mom's going to be my business manager.
Yep.
Like they're both going to handle the grounds because they like planting things. And
Very
you know what I
practical.
mean?
Right, right. No
Yeah, and
fake.
like like Sarah and Wayne will be involved to some degree.
Yeah.
Like I've even said like if I ever got any kind of a show or writing or anything that involved needing to be creative in a space, I'd be like I always have said to you, you have to be
Oh,
there with
right. Yeah,
me.
I'm in the writer's room.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have to be in the writer's room with me because I just like
I bring out.
I need the crew.
Yes,
I need everybody.
yes, yes.
Everybody rise, rising tides.
Rising tide.
Like
Absolutely. I
you
love
know
that.
you could be the music like person for the
Right.
show,
Music director.
like
She's doing
how they do on
supervisor.
Euphoria
Yeah.
with how Zendaya did all the music originally.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Listen, I'm all for it.
Okay.
Agreed.
Would you rather hmm would you rather why am I keep saying the same this is the same thing? Oh my God. Would you this is a good one. Okay.
Okay.
This is literally the next one, but I do like it.
Okay.
Would you rather get everything you asked for at once and feel overwhelmed, or wait patiently and get it all in divine timing, but slowly?
I'm going to say divine timing.
Same.
Yeah. Agreed. And why would you
Same.
say divine timing?
I would say that because I think getting everything that you've ever wanted all at once is a little bit too, there's not enough. Like you see this in the world of like everything's happening at once for someone and they get really overwhelmed. They wind up having to
They
like
get lost.
take a break, step back. They get lost in all of the opportunity that's coming their way and they kind of lose their voice. I'd rather have slow, steady upwards trajectory so that I can actually like handle each of the new opportunities that come my way. And also, I wouldn't want to like fumble the bag in a way where like I'm saying yes to every single thing because every opportunity is coming my way.
Yeah.
And I have like no discernment or like no like this, because in that moment you're like, oh, just say yes to everything because it's all
It's all
happening at once.
happening.
It's like,
Right, right, right.
no, it's like I'd rather have like this happen and then that happen and then this happen and then like, oh, because I did this, then this happened.
Yeah.
And I have like, my feet firmly on the ground.
Yes, 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 yes.
That's my perspective.
Okay. I love that and agreed with everything you said. The reason why I would say divine timing is because I feel like it gives me more time to actually appreciate and bask in each of the wins. Like we're talking about, like gratitude. It's like, well, let's actually truly be in the moment and realize like all of the things that we had to work towards even just to get this. And there's something
Mm,
so special about, first of all, divine timing. If something is ordained
yeah.
by the good Lord, I mean, it's for me. So I just really want to be like, even, I'm just going to go back to this. Even the process of me quitting my job to pursue music, that whole process for me was so deeply spiritual. And
Yeah.
like, I felt like God, and he was like on the hotline every time I needed him, you
Aw.
know? And so, like, that, I will never forget that moment in my life because it was something that was like slow, right? It took me a while to get to that point in my life, but
Yeah.
it was all the more fruitful and meaningful and all that type of stuff. So it's like if
Mm-hmm.
it comes, I just got to practice patience
Yeah.
by all means. It's going to be
There
better
we go.
anyway. Yeah. So
We're on the
all
same
of the
page. We're
above.
aligned.
Yeah, we are for sure.
Okay. So the last game we're going to play is called Which Would You Celebrate?
Mm,
So it's like a this or that.
okay.
And you're only allowed to pick one thing. Okay.
Okay.
Because you know how I like to be like, well, it's this or
This or that, not and.
yeah, exactly. So,
Okay. All
okay.
right.
This or that.
Yes, ma'am. Hmm. I feel like that's next.
Would you rather? Okay. So it's not would you rather, it's this or that. Okay.
Okay.
To celebrate this week. It's a thing to celebrate this week.
Okay.
Would you like to celebrate this or that?
Okay.
Okay, we'll start with the one from before. $1,000 payday
Mm-hmm.
or a heartfelt testimonial.
$1,000 payday.
Exactly. Moving on.
I don't even understand this heartfelt testimonial. Like, I mean,
I
that's
like you can keep it. I don't need it.
like,
This
good for
testimonial's
you,
not paying
right?
paying the bills.
Oh man.
It's someone trying to express gratitude, and I'm like, keep that. I need the cash.
We are missing the point of this episode.
Oh my God. That's not funny though. That's why gratitude is a practice.
Yeah.
It's a muscle that you have to work. Okay. You're not every time's going to be, you're not going
I
to
can
be
always
able to
be
respond to the
welcome,
moment
right?
every time. Be like, you know what? I couldn't pay you this week, but I'm just going to
But I'm
express
just
my
so
gratitude. Be
grateful
like,
to you. Nah, right?
be like, oh my God, that
The
great, you know what that
agreement is the
gratitude tastes
agreement.
like? It tastes like me being hungry. You know what that's what it tastes like. It tastes
Oh
like
my
not having food on
gosh.
the table. That's what that tastes like. Oh my God.
Uh, that's
Okay.
funny.
This or that. Something
Okay.
that you could do this week, right? It's a this or a that.
Mm-hmm.
One new client or new gig,
Mm-hmm.
new opportunity, viral video hitting, whatever. One new something for us.
Okay.
Or one old friend texting, I'm proud of you.
Hmm. I'm still gonna say the gig.
See, I think that you know what I think though? I agree because I think it has a lot to do with the season that you're in.
Yeah.
And like if you are in a season where like you need gigs, clients,
Mm-hmm.
but you need things to be working out, right? Like in that regard, it's like I almost feel like I'm like a heads down, blinders up. Like I don't need affirmation in that regard. I don't need anyone to tell me they're grateful or whatever. I'm like, I just need, and that's a tough thing when it comes to gratitude and practicing gratitude because, oh, I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. Like this thing worked out. I'm like, well, I need more.
Mm.
Like I need this, it's like when then you come into that, like, well, when's it ever enough? I'm like, well, I can tell you right now, there's not enough. There will be eventually, right?
Today's not
It
that
will be
day.
eventually.
Right.
I'm not falling into the trap of like, it's never enough.
No.
Never enough. Okay. It's from The Greatest
Right.
Showman.
Oh, I never saw it.
Oh
Duh.
gosh.
Right.
It's good stuff. You sound like Billie Eilish just there.
Duh. We love you, Billy.
Yeah, I love you, Billy. Okay.
Okay, I hear you for all of that.
Yes.
The reason why I say it's not so much like, oh, need a gig. I mean that because I'm just like, Not that I don't love those, but when you said old friend, I'm just and it could also
Mm,
just be like one of my current friends, but
yeah,
but
that you've
when
had
I
for a long
that I've
time.
had for a long time. But when you said that, I'm thinking like, oh, somebody like who maybe is watching me from afar. Maybe we've kind of like drifted from, whatever. It's like that would be
Yeah.
nice, but that won't like that's not going to. Because I guess when you're doing stuff like that matters, it's like you're not ever looking for
You're
people to be
exactly.
grateful to you or proud of
Yes.
you. So
Yes.
I'm just like, well, that's nice. And I don't ever mean when people say that, like sometimes it hits and it does mean something.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, all right, I love that. I'm happy that I'm inspired,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. Sorry.
I know. I also think it kind of just calls into like, doing something because you want to do it because it's your call to do it
Yeah,
versus like you're looking for
for the
external
validation.
validation for the thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Cause yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. I think it's nice when the validation comes, but you're doing it
Anyway,
regardless. Or my favorite word, non word,
irregardless,
irregardless.
listen,
Hotly debated.
wait, shout out to Kevin James because he has a whole stand up called Irregardless. And I freaking love it. It's so good. I love him. But guys, it's not a word. In case you were wondering. But
I mean, it could be.
it might as
Merriam
well
Webster
be.
it's inducting new words all the
Every
time.
single day. Bootylicious
You
became a
know?
word. Like,
Yep.
I'm
Irregardless is one of those words that's like,
regardless.
I couldn't care less.
That people get that wrong
You know
all
what I
the
mean? It's
time.
like a turn of phrase that's like, actually, that's not really like
No,
you could care less. Yeah. Or you could say, you could be like, no, I care so little that there isn't any less I could care.
Right.
Like that's how I
That's
take
how I
it.
take it.
Like,
No, that's the only way you're
yeah.
supposed to take it because most times when people are saying like I could care less, when they're saying it wrong like that, like I could care less. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, then you could care less. So you do care some.
Oh, see, I can't even explain the analogy right because I don't know how to use it. Irregardless, it's a good analogy.
She is so grammatically like she's on it. She doesn't even know how to explain it
I like to have fun with words.
Yes.
I love to play with the language.
Yeah.
It's not even just English anymore. Okay. I am borrowing.
Bilingual. Or
Yeah.
okay.
Try. Because I do Spanish and I do a little bit of Yiddish sometimes.
Okay. Ew.
That was Mishigas. Mishigas
Because
is
I was
Yiddish.
so confused. Maybe you didn't see my face, and I was like, Michigas. I don't know what that is. But I could.
I grew up next to Teaneck, New Jersey, so there's a lot of really good Yiddish, phrases that I get to say.
There's plenty.
Yeah, like geographically, I definitely benefited because there was a lot of language around. I'm so grateful.
Absolutely,
I love it.
wow.
Grateful. I'm so grateful.
She's incorporating it into her language. Listen, this is us doing things in real time. Okay. Real time.
And that's how you practice gratitude. Okay.
On period.
On period. Well, I'm so grateful that you're here with me, Aja. I'm glad that we do this.
Me too.
I'm glad that we have this space.
Praise God. I am as well. Every single week, I'm so excited.
Same. And I always am in such a good mood when we finish.
Yeah.
And then I got to go get to work.
I know. And then I got to get right to it.
I got to get right back to get back to work. My boss is like, keep working. And I'm like, that's me. I am the boss.
In the mirror, right?
Oh, Atlanta. Wow. Well, on that note, everyone, I hope that if you have had a little win this week or a big win, that you do take your time to appreciate it and celebrate it in whichever way feels authentic and meaningful to you.
Yeah.
And if you do feel like you maybe have had some stumbling blocks or roadblocks or the devil is trying to take you down, down to Georgia, okay? Get the reference?
No.
It's a song. Devil went down to Georgia.
Oh, okay.
How do I know like a country song out of place? How am I referencing a country song?
You really lost me, right?
No, actually it's actually funny. My mom she used to play it in the car, and it was like a big thing. And we all love listening to that one song. So it's
Okay.
fun. Anyway, yes. So ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gents, if you have experienced a win or a hump, a difficulty, try to connect to some kind of a gratitude practice, an active state of gratitude. It may help. Comment if you have a win, comment if you have a hurdle, comment if you have enacted any kind of a practice around gratitude that you think people would benefit from.
Yes. Share with us, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would love
We
that.
appreciate it.
We would be so grateful.
So grateful.
Oh, man. Thank you,
On that
guys.
note, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Talk to you later. The Regents Podcast. The Regents Podcast.